Started in 2004, I said in July. My first year up until basically like downtime, so end of November, I'd done about 70,000. Started literally from zero. Was given one client from a previous gym, and just opened myself up to everything. Long days to start with, but in general, I said 70,000. It's just progressed from there, and since Shane and I joined up together, it's more than tripled that easily between us. So everything's worked out really well for me.
I was probably under that the first year, honestly. I think I was probably, and I actually bought a split. My start off was about $60,000, maybe 65 grand. I was working a lot, and I was just, trying to get as much as I could. I then kind of started to try to expand. I hired a guy slowly. Didn't get another truck on the road for at least till my third year. Then started getting a little bit of confidence. Slowly went up and up and up. Then started getting into snow removal, which is extremely lucrative. And this year we're going to be just under 500,000 with 3 employees full-time, and the 4th guy's a part-time. Okay.
I grossed 113,000 last year. That was my first year. But I also took on some larger jobs too. So.
Started mine in 2010 in the spring. Started with 30 clients. Wasn't really there was a ton of unserviced leads when I started, so I basically took anything and everything from anywhere within a half-hour drive. First year I grossed just over 120. In the fall of that year I had 2 guys working for me full-time, so yeah, first year was good.
Very similar to Adam, I guess. I also started in 2010. I purchased from an existing gym who was in the business for about a year and didn't want to stay. They were making about $6,000 a month at the time, and when I took over in June, I called the office and told them to send me all the leads you have. And that first month I did $14,000 and hasn't dropped below 10 ever since. Pretty much just taking on leads really built it up.
The first question coming is, what's the best thing about being a Jim's Mowing franchisee? Or what's the best thing about being a gym? Okay, so that's the first question.
Okay, the best thing for me is the lifestyle. I spend more time with my family, I spend more time with my leisure activities and hobbies than I do actually physically working. And that's what I pretty much enjoy the most is the amount of time I have to do the things I like. I mean, most of us have things that we would prefer doing besides working, so why not do it? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much same goes for me. Just having full control over my work life and home life. I've got 3 kids. I like making sure that I can drive them to dance and taekwondo and hockey. Coach hockey if I can. Don't know anything about dance. Daughter wouldn't want me helping her with that anyway. But,
you sing too.
I try. Kids don't let me sing anymore. But yeah, just full control over that. And just being there for all those events. And not having to ask someone if I can have time to go do that. So that's probably been the best by far, just having full control of that.
The best thing about being a gym is being able to work for myself and put in whatever effort you choose from year to year. The reward that you get comes from whatever you've decided to do as a person. Came from a big corporate company and watched people grow old and work themselves to death and not enjoy life. So along the way, we bought a mobile home up at Cultus Lake and decided that we'd split between work and like enjoying life yearly. So Jim's Mowing has allowed that to happen, and still make reasonable income and happy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's the same. It's the work-life balance. Only going into my second year, I think I'm still trying to find that work-life balance, but I'm finding it easier, and it is coming along, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So like this January, I plan on taking most of the month off and going on vacation with my son and a vacation for myself too. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Best thing I think about being a gym was, like I said, the independence, being out on your own, and nothing against Peter or the Reedies, in fact, not really having to answer to anybody. It was only when it came around to like uniforms or logos or something like that, you had to go to the office. So like basically, I didn't hear from the Reedies at all, unless I didn't pay my franchise fees. Other than that, like I said, Peter's been great with what's happened since Peter's taken over. Everything's just gone up and up and up ever since he took over. And like I said, but like all the guys have said, the life balance. Kids were quite a bit younger. Now I got a grandson, so which is awesome. That's about it.
I would say for me, would definitely be stability is one big thing for me. I like to be able to do what I want to do, essentially when I want to do it. Another thing is I enjoy employing people. I enjoy being a good boss to people that they can actually spend time with their kids, and we kind of implement no Saturdays. I know that probably sounds crazy to a bunch of people, but I don't work Saturdays at all, nor do any of my guys, and they appreciate that from me. Obviously, being in a background of some of them have backgrounds of landscaping, and Saturdays were always something. It's helped me retain employees as well. Financial freedom would probably be my top, but everything else is right close there.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. How have the other franchisees helped you?
Other franchisees has helped me just with confidence. That would be probably one of the bigger ones. Adam's helped me a lot. Peter's helped me a lot. I'm sure other people have helped me a lot in here as well, but having a bit of a support, having something to brainstorm with, having somebody to mastermind with, having somebody to bounce ideas off of, you being able to bounce ideas off of me. Peter was saying earlier, there's 200 years plus of experience in here. It's a lot better than 6 years for me. So the tighter the group, the more knowledge, the better. Everybody wins that way. So that's, yeah.
I think the thing is with me, with having the franchisees available, when I very first started, or even actually before I first started, I was going to be going out training. I was given a list of about 5 or 6 phone numbers of guys to call, and I literally called every single one of them. What's the worst part about your day? What's the best part about your day? And just having that option to be able to call people and figure out what they were either doing wrong or what they were doing right. Hardest thing is always quoting, but same thing again. Get on the phone to one of the other guys. I've got this sort of lot, even sent them pictures. And recently we've taken on more sort of like contract type work. And I deal very little with the paperwork. Shane takes care of that. But getting sort of a template from some of the guys on roughly, okay, this is what you got to look at, this is what you got to put in the contract. Make sure you cover all your bases. And 99% of those contracts that we've got via other gyms. Just like the knowledge of what they know and how to do it. Guys that have had contracts for a while and it's worked out a treat.
Yeah, for me, having the other franchisees, it's been massive on my plate. I mean, coming from a bartending background, I knew nothing about landscaping going into this. So having guys like Adam, Gerry, Pat that I could call up at any time and ask them questions, posting on the Facebook group about quoting, different questions I have there. It's just, I mean, it's been a godsend. Like, I can't emphasize enough how much it's helped me. So.
I've been in gyms longer than I think anybody else in the room, and when I first started, I had 2 businesses, so I couldn't work 5 days a week with gyms. And I partnered up with another gym, and we did some of the harder work jobs like grass restorations and gutters and Christmas lights, and we shared the work, and I taught him some things, and he'd been with it a year longer and taught me some things I didn't know, and that made the first 3 years a lot more beneficial from a learning point of view of how to actually do the job rather than just watch. And it was great for camaraderie too, and made friendships, and other gyms partnered up back at the same time because there wasn't going to Australia for training that there is now. There was 2 days training, and that was it. So it was a great introduction to the business, and it was very helpful at the start of mine.
Going into my 10th year, you wouldn't think I would need as much support from all the new franchisees and other franchisees that are around, but the last 3 years, I think I've relied on that more than ever, and my business has gone up profitability by at least 30% the last 3 years. So I thought before my business was good, but being able to interact with everybody at 5-10 meetings a year, AGM, Facebook group, like everybody said, calling people, just getting advice. My business really turned a corner a couple of years ago, and even just jobs that clients approach me for, like tree pruning, I don't like doing. Other stuff I don't like doing, but I can keep those clients because I can pass that work to somebody else in the group that likes doing that or needs the work at the time or just isn't super busy. So having the support from everybody else to also help me keep my clients for stuff that I don't want to do, it's can't really get it anywhere else.
Ditto. All of that. For me, it was when I started, I had a difficult time with quoting jobs. And the way I was helped is the same thing. I would call upon other gyms that would meet me and look at the job and ask me what I would charge for it, and then they'd give me what they would. And yeah, basically looking at that really developed my eye for the different types of jobs and what they're worth, because it all comes down to what I'm worth, and it's not really what that job is willing to pay for. It's what you're worth. I'm worth this much to do that job. If you're not willing to pay it, you can find somebody else. And 9 times out of 10, they always go with Jim. And the other thing is, in the last couple of years, my revenue, believe it or not, my revenue has gone up, but I've worked less. Now, if you think about that, it's like, how is that possible? It's possible. Yeah, that's one advice I took from Peter on that aspect is working less and making more. So, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Awesome. All right, that's great, guys. So if anybody has a great life hack that they can share with the group, or best practice, or a strategy or shortcut, please throw it out.
A product that Canadian Tire sells called the Easy Loader or the Easy Unloader, and it's basically a tarp on a roller, and you lay it out in your pickup truck, and everything goes in there. When you go to dump, all you do is crank, and I've cranked out a yard of gravel with
No
ease.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
And within 20 seconds, you can have it
You
on
put
the
it in a
ground.
trailer too?
No, just on the pickup.
Just a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Put it in the
It goes
bed
in
of
the
the
bed of a
truck?
pickup truck.
Can't
Yeah.
put it in a trailer if it's not,
If it's not deep.
is this,
If it's not dumped.
it's got a hand crank on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically like pulling a tablecloth.
You see those?
Yeah.
Never even
Exactly.
heard of it, never
Exactly.
knew.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I'm
I'd
probably
spend
gonna get
20,
it.
30
You have
minutes
one-
at
they
the
work?
dump with a pitchfork.
So-
full
Oh,
of
yeah.
Okay,
grass
that's what I was
out,
gonna
right?
say.
Yeah.
20 seconds
Kinda
it's
sounds
all
like a
out,
ramp,
and I'm
like-
off to the next job.
Too
And
good to
that
be
20
true.
minutes I
Yeah.
spent at the dump,
Is
I
it?
have
Too
made
good to
money.
be
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna get one.
We all get
Oh,
it.
you didn't know that trick?
That's
Okay.
why I quit
What?
going to the dump and
No, sorry.
that's the way I save 2
Ah,
hours a
the
week.
layered
Yeah,
truck.
yeah.
Every week.
Another option is, well, being in the valley, it's probably a little easier, is finding people that want compost. You can dump your grass for free. Another thing, 2 years ago, I finally decided to stop doing my own paperwork and get a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
I should have done that a long time ago.
What was all the questions?
Life hack.
Sorry, I got full
best-
into what Gerry was saying.
Yeah, best practice, and that's why all the new franchisees. That's why I emphasize so much QuickBooks and Jobber right out of the gate. Is that you don't want to end up in this position. I ended up in the exact same position as Gerry. It was a disaster. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time you're managing 3 or 4 trucks, and you're doing it with Excel spreadsheets, it goes till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So just to have an infrastructure of software similar to QuickBooks and Jobber is priceless. I would never, ever, ever, ever start my business without the 2 of them. Sorry, go ahead. So yeah, best practice or life hack?
I'd say for bigger jobs. When it was in the season where I didn't need an employee and I didn't have one, and I was working by myself, I would line up bigger jobs. So a job that would be like a 10-hour hedge, 11-hour hedge, and then I would get like a labor ready person just to come up for the day. But I'd make sure they got there 3 hours after I did. So I'd start hedging for 3 hours. They'd show up. They'd start cleaning, and then by the time I finished the hedge, they've cleaned everything up. I go to the door to get my money, and then we're both out of there at the same time. So just knowing how to stagger your jobs properly, and I never, ever, ever, ever do any of the cleanup for pruning. It's just, to me, it feels like I can make way more money charging $120 an hour on a ladder pruning than I can doing the $60 an hour work, raking it up. So I try to get employees for stuff like that, and then just keep the more profitable work just for me, just so I can keep doing it. So
I found the most important thing with my business was organizing your day. So I work in a demographic area for a day, and if I meet a potential new client and he wants me to look after his grass and says I'd like it done on Fridays so it's nice for the weekend, I tell him I work in this area on whatever day of the week it is, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and that we're happy to help him out. If you'd like to hire us, that's the way it is. And I go into demographic area and I stay in that area for the day, so it's like 1, 2, 3 minutes, 2 blocks to the next customer. So you're not driving, you're working. Therefore, when I leave the house, my time's productive all day. And I try not to do quotes in the middle of it. I either try to do them before or after, because if the quote's like 2 blocks away, that's great. But if it's in one of my other demographic areas, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's
And
a good point.
I maximize revenue per day, and I lay it out with weekly and bi-weekly based on a schedule on a spreadsheet. So when I meet somebody, I know where my holes are. And planning makes you money.
Plan to work the plan.
Yeah.
I found last year one of the things that I did in the middle of the summer when I was insanely busy. I was still taking leads because Peter told me not to turn my leads off. So I'm still going out there doing quotes after my 10-hour day and whatnot. But what I did at that point was I just jacked up all my quotes because some of the jobs I just didn't want to do, but it was worth it if they took the quote for that price. And 9 times out of 10 people were still taking the quotes. So I got quite a bit of money from a lot of people who just had nobody else to do those jobs, at probably $500 more than I would have quoted in the first place. So made extra money.
Just a couple of little things. One thing that I always do, whenever we're out quoting, I always have a box of dog biscuits in my truck.
Yeah, that's good.
Because if somebody's got a dog, when you go back out, if you can quote them there and then, you hand them a dog biscuit, I would say 99% of the time, I've got the job. The other big thing is, always have a change of uniform in your truck. Because when you hit a dog crap in the summer, and you're smelling that all day,
Okay, cut that bit.
you want to, no, that's why I said crap, not the other word. But yeah, and like I said, there's days you'll hit something or you get covered in something or other. It's always nice to have a change of clothes and just throw the things in the trailer, because otherwise you're going to stink.
That's good. Pat's laughing like it happened to him.
It's happened. A lot. Yeah. I would say one of the things for sure for me would be trying to get as much out of my B clients that I can. Like if they're the kind of client that wants everything, if you don't like Like if they want their lawn cut and they want their if a client wants their lawn cut and they want their lime done and they want aeration, they probably want all their hedges done. They probably want to get pressure washing. They probably want to do fertilizer. They probably want to do everything for them. And then if their fence is falling over, they probably also want you to do that. So if you're in that kind of business and you like doing other things like that, even if you can't do it, you can get other contractors to do it. I'm sure you can get other gyms to do it, aka me. You can, yeah. You can, there's another big one that I've started doing the last about year and a half. This is more of a life thing. I journal every single morning. Every single thing that I think I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do it during that day. I learned that from my dad a long time ago. I thought it was crazy that he'd do it. I wake up super early every morning and I journal everything that I thought of the day before and everything that I have to do that day, whether it be work or play or both. It starts my psychology of my brain going. It starts everything kind of going it starts my day off well. And it seems to get me going. I even do it on Sunday mornings. So it's something that, to me, it's changed my life for sure.
Just like a to-do list?
No, it's a journal. Like I literally write down my thoughts, my feelings. I need to write down. I'm a person that needs that stuff. Yeah, I'm sensitive. Yeah.
We always thought you were
Yeah,
We give him a hug later.
Yeah. It's just something that it's helped me a lot.
That's good.
And it just gets me going, and it gets, I don't know, it just helps. Try it out.
It's kind of neat because then you can think, 6 months ago I thought about
You know what?
something I was thinking, and it's actually there, right?
2 months down the road, I can look back and say,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I was doing this, and I think this was one of the time, and I can actually go back and do it. I do it for investments that I have. I do it for all aspects of my life.
Good thing.
And it's worked out very well. And since then, since 2 years back, it's been very life-changing to me. So give it a shot, right? It's like, whatever, spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. I don't know, whatever it takes, right?
Wow, that's an interesting perspective, yeah.
That's cool.
That's great. Nice. Thanks, guys. Fantastic work. Fantastic